Hi guys, I'm Georgia.
I'm Lauren.
And this is our first ever couch talk. Okay, let's get started. Okay, Lauren, so I know due to your kidney issues and stuff, you are quite often in the hospital, in and out, okay? Due to the whole pandemic of the COVID-19 virus, can you explain to us or tell us how it changed for you, how your trips changed?
I actually got coronavirus and I ended up in hospital for 7 days. I had all the symptoms except for the shortness of breath. I had the chills, I had fever, the loss of taste, the vomiting, the fatigue. I actually called NHS 111 and explained to them my symptoms, and they were like, oh, you probably don't have it, just stay home and isolate. And I was like, okay. But I just wasn't getting any better, and this was like, it wasn't like flu, because I couldn't actually get up and do anything. I just felt so bad. And I called one of the nurses at the hospital and I was like, explained to her my symptoms. She's like, all right, I'm going to speak to a doctor. And the doctor said, get to A&E now. Got to A&E and they were like, we suspect it's COVID, but we don't know yet. They put me in an isolated room. And then they swabbed me for coronavirus. And I think that the next day, the doctor came back and said, I'm sorry to say that you've got coronavirus. So I was like, okay, I got really sad. I was like, because of how the news made it, like, the scaremongering, I thought, oh my God, like, I have underlying issues. I might die in here. So I started to get worried and panicky. And then they moved me to a COVID ward. And they were like, the next 24, 48 hours are like crucial, because this is where we see people get better and they have a dip. And once you have the dip, that's when it gets really bad, and a lot of people end up in intensive care. I ended up getting the dip. My temperature just kept getting higher and higher and higher. And they were giving me antibiotics and paracetamol. And I made a recovery, a full recovery.
Amazing.
No, like after symptoms.
Yeah.
So I've been okay since then, but coronavirus has really come to shake things up. Like, even in terms of like the transplants, everything's been put on hold because of the coronavirus. My transplant list, specifically the simultaneous pancreas kidney transplant, has been put on hold because I'm waiting for a deceased donor and it's not safe. So they've put a pause on it, and I don't know how long it's going to take for it to get reactivated. But St. George's are reactivating their live donor list for kidneys, etc. sometime this week. So hopefully, if everything goes well and things are done safely, then SBK list will be reactivated. I'll get on the list and I can have my donor within 6 months.
Amazing. Wow. Silver lining, eh?
Yes, exactly.
Amazing. So how was that for you? I mean, literally every time you turn on the TV, there was like so many deaths with the COVID, and, you know, everybody made it pretty clear, like, if you've got any underlying issues, like, that's it.
Yeah.
So can you tell us about like how your family or how your reaction was to this whole situation?
When it first came out, it wasn't really in the UK yet, so everyone was like, oh, there's a virus going around, but it was only in China.
Yeah.
And then when it came here, it was like, okay, take precaution. And then it was like, all right, complete lockdown. Anyone with underlying issues, stay inside. They text us saying, don't open the windows, don't take your bin out, don't get someone to pick up your prescriptions, don't go shopping. My mum was like, no, don't go out. My auntie, your mum, was messaging me every day, like, only go to dialysis and come home, don't go anywhere. It was like being locked up. I still had to leave the house anyway to go to dialysis. I do that 3 times a week at the hospital. And then I moved to a centre in North Wandsworth. But we still had to go out and do that. And then after I got coronavirus, I was like, well, I've had it now. But before that came out, I was still going to work. And everyone was like, no, you shouldn't be here, blah, blah, blah. I was like, if I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
so you wasn't kind of scared. You was like, I need to get on with my life.
Yeah, I wasn't scared, but everyone around me was like,
was
scared. But it's because of how, because of how the news made it sound.
Yeah.
Was that if you've got underlying issues, you're gonna die. That's it for you. And I'm living proof that that's not the case.
Yeah. Came out fine the other end, isn't it? Amazing.
Sure, exactly.
Amazing. Exactly. So like after that all happened and you came out the other end, like how are you feeling now? Like how's the journey progressing? You feeling good?
Do you know what? I feel okay. Like I feel like back to my usual self. The only thing that has been affected by it is that my blood sugars sometimes don't run as low as they should, and my anemia is really bad. It's supposed to be over 105, and my hemoglobin levels, and right now is 74. That's the only thing that's been really affected by the COVID. Other than that, like I'm just getting on with it, like going out, not to large places, but obviously going to the supermarket, meeting up with a small group of friends, going to the park, just carrying on as usual, because life has to go on.
It has to go on, yeah.
But I think gathering in like large spaces and then knowing you're going to be around like someone who's elderly or sick, you don't actually know who's a carrier. Because some people are a carrier, but they don't actually like show symptoms of the virus, but can pass it on. And then you can get it and pass it on. So it's a really weird one, but I mean, lockdown's over now, isn't it? So
yeah, just getting on with life.
Yeah,
you know?
Things are going back to normal.
Yeah.
The only thing is, obviously, they're saying we're getting a second wave in October. How bad is it going to be? We don't know. The economy can't afford to go back into lockdown. So things are just still going to keep going on, and the virus is going to keep spreading. And Boris Johnson is an idiot.
There you have it. We hear it here today.
He's an idiot.
There you go.